Hello everyone! Have you ever struggled after bringing home a new orchid, only to watch it slowly wither away because you weren't sure how to care for it properly? Don't worry. In today's video, I'm going to show you some simple, effective tips using natural ingredients to help your orchid not just survive, but grow strong and healthy right from the start. As you can see, when I first brought this orchid home, most of the roots were completely dried out. Many were dead, brittle, and had turned a grayish-brown color. They crumbled easily to the touch, showing no signs of moisture or life. However, if you look closely near the base, you'll notice that some of the lower roots are still green and firm. That's a really good sign. First, we're going to cut off the flower spike. This step is important because the orchid is still weak, and keeping the flower spike will only drain its energy. Since there are no clearly visible nodes on the flower spike, we won't be able to use it for propagation. For keiki or baby plant development, we usually need healthy, well-defined eyes or nodes on the spike. Let's go ahead and cut away the plastic orchid potting shell on the outside, so we can take a closer look at the root system and see how the roots are doing inside. This will help us check for any rot, dryness, or signs of healthy growth before we repot. Even though the roots look green and fresh on the surface, once we get a closer look, we can clearly see that some of the roots are actually blackened and mushy, clear signs of rot. Others appear yellowish or hollow, meaning they've dried out or died off. These unhealthy roots won't be able to absorb water or nutrients properly, and if left untreated, I'll start by removing the old moss medium and replacing it with fresh moss. This step is really important because it gives the plant a completely refreshed environment, one that's clean, breathable, and better at retaining the right amount of moisture. More importantly, repotting lets me take a close look at the roots. If there's any sign of rot, damage, or dehydration, I can deal with it right away before it spreads. It's also a great time to trim off anything unhealthy and encourage new, strong root growth. If left untreated, those damaged roots can actually block the growth of new, healthy ones. That's why I'm going to carefully trim them away. This helps the plant redirect its energy and nutrients toward developing fresh, strong roots. Cutting off the old, weak roots not only removes the risk of rot spreading, but it also makes room for healthier growth. New roots that emerge afterward will be much better at absorbing water and nutrients, which is essential for a quick and stable recovery after repotting. Plus, by removing those dead roots now, we're preventing fungal infections or bacteria from setting in later on, keeping the entire plant healthier in the long run. Next, I'll rinse the plant under running water. After trimming the damaged roots, I'll wash the entire plant under running water to remove any remaining dirt. This process thoroughly cleans the roots and base, setting the stage for the plant to adapt to the new medium. Washing also eliminates any bacteria or fungi lingering from the old medium. If left behind, these could continue to grow and harm the plant in its new environment. A clean root system is essential for healthy regrowth, and this simple rinse helps ensure that nothing unwanted carries over into the fresh potting mix. It's a small step, but it makes a big difference in giving the plant a clean, healthy start. Let's use a soft cloth to gently dry the plant, especially around the base and roots. This helps prevent excess moisture from lingering, which can lead to rot or fungal problems later. Be sure to dab, not rub, so you don't damage any delicate new roots or leaves. A gentle dry like this also prepares the plant better for any treatments or repotting steps that follow. Prepare turmeric powder. Use 1 tablespoon of turmeric powder. Turmeric is well known for its natural antifungal and antibacterial properties, which can help protect your orchid from root rot and other infections. Pour 500 milliliters of warm water. Stir the solution. Soak it for 30 minutes. Prepare 2 rose flowers. Roses aren't just beautiful. They also contain natural compounds that are incredibly beneficial for plant care. When we use rose petals in a homemade fertilizer or care solution, we're adding a gentle mix of antioxidants, vitamins like vitamin C, and mild antibacterial properties that can support healthy growth. Put it into the blender. Pour 500 milliliters of water. Filter the solution through rails. We'll use the leftover flower residue as an organic fertilizer for other plants. Instead of discarding it, this nutrient-rich pulp can be added directly to the soil around your garden or potted plants. It's a sustainable way to recycle plant-based materials while giving your garden a gentle, chemical-free nutrition boost. Soak it for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, once the nutrients have fully dissolved into the water, we'll stir the turmeric solution thoroughly. and then strain it through a fine mesh or cloth. This step helps remove any undissolved turmeric particles, leaving us with a clean, nutrient-rich liquid that's easier for plants to absorb. Soak it for 15 minutes. We'll use the rose flower solution to gently wipe the leaves of the orchid. Rose petals contain natural antioxidants, essential oils, and a small amount of vitamin C, which help boost the plant's immunity, reduce stress, and refresh tired leaves. Especially helpful for orchids that have just been brought home and are adapting to a new environment. When we clean the top side of the leaf, it helps open up the stomata tiny pores that allow the plant to breathe and perform photosynthesis more effectively. Wiping the underside removes dust and prevents pests like spider mites or mealybugs from hiding and damaging the plant. Using rose solution this way not only adds a subtle layer of natural antibacterial protection, but also improves the leaf's ability to absorb light and air. It's a gentle method to help orchids recover faster, regain vitality, and prepare for new root or leaf growth in their new setting. Combine the two solutions together. Stir the solution. Place the plant into the solution made from rose and turmeric to soak gently. This step is especially important when the root wounds are still open after trimming. Soak it for 30 minutes. After soaking for 30 minutes, gently lift the plant out of the solution and place it in a shaded, well-ventilated area to let it drain and air dry. Sprinkle a light, even layer of ground cinnamon directly onto the freshly cut or damaged root areas. Cinnamon is a natural antifungal and antibacterial agent, which makes it perfect for helping orchids heal after pruning. When applied to the wounds, it creates a dry, protective layer that prevents harmful pathogens like fungi and bacteria from entering the tissue. This is especially important because orchids are highly sensitive during the recovery stage, and open root wounds can easily become infected if left untreated. The cinnamon not only keeps the wounds dry, but also accelerates the healing process, allowing the roots to recover in a clean and safe environment. Let the plant sit for around 20 to 30 minutes after applying the cinnamon. We'll use the rose and turmeric solution to soak the pine bark for 1 full day before planting. This step is crucial because it helps sterilize the bark, eliminating any harmful fungi, bacteria, or pests that might harm the orchid later on. Soaking the bark in this nutrient-rich solution also allows it to absorb beneficial compounds. Alright, so if you've got leftover solution from the rose and turmeric mix, don't throw it away. We're actually going to use it to wipe down the leaves of the orchid, and honestly, this step is a game changer, especially for orchids that are recovering or just adjusting to a new environment. Also, this technique is like giving your orchid a natural protective shield. With regular wiping, you reduce the risk of red mites, scale insects, aphids, and even fungal infections. Because pests tend to avoid healthy, well-maintained plants, especially ones that smell like turmeric and rose. And timing really matters, so try to wipe the leaves in the early morning or late afternoon. That way, the plant has time to absorb all the nutrients and benefits from the solution without the heat of the day drying it out too fast or causing leaf burn. If you've got time during the week, say once or twice, it's a great habit to keep up. You'll notice the leaves get glossier, firmer, and the plant just feels healthier overall. After letting the plant dry completely and soaking the pine bark for a full day, it's time to pot the orchid. This step is really important because by now, the roots have had a chance to rest, the wounds are dry, and the medium is fully hydrated, creating the perfect environment for root development. When we pot the orchid, make sure to gently spread the roots into the pot, allowing them to sit naturally. Don't force them to coil or bend too tightly, because healthy roots need space to grow and breathe. Place the orchid at the right height so that the base isn't buried too deep, and then slowly add the moist pine bark around it, tapping gently to fill in any gaps but not pressing it down too hard. Pine bark is excellent for orchids because it provides good airflow, drainage, and holds just enough moisture without suffocating the roots. Since we soaked it, it won't draw water away from the roots, so your orchid settles into a stable, slightly humid environment that supports new root growth right away. Now, to finish off the potting process, we'll add a thin layer of moist moss right on top of the pine bark. This step is optional, but really helpful, especially if your growing environment is dry or if the plant needs a bit more humidity while adjusting to its new pot. The moss acts like a moisture blanket. It keeps the surface humid for longer, helping the top roots stay hydrated without overwatering. At the same time, it prevents the pine bark underneath from drying out too quickly, especially if your air circulation is strong or the weather's hot. After 3 weeks, let's take a closer look at just the leaves. The most noticeable change is the color and texture. The leaves have become greener, with a deeper, more vibrant tone compared to when we first started. That's a good sign that the plant is actively photosynthesizing and absorbing nutrients well. You might also notice the leaves feel firmer, no longer soft or limp-like when the plant was stressed. you'll notice that the roots have started to show signs of healthy growth. The tips of the roots might appear green or light-colored. This is new root development, which is exactly what we want to see. These fresh tips are usually plump, smooth, and slightly pointed. It means the plant is responding well to the new environment and has started actively absorbing moisture and nutrients again. Older roots that were healthy during repotting will now look fuller and more hydrated. They're no longer wrinkled or dry. You might also see some roots attaching themselves to the potting medium, which is a great sign the plant is anchoring itself and feeling secure. And that's it for today's orchid care update. Thanks so much for watching and joining me on this journey to healthier, stronger plants. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a tip. Drop a comment below to share your own orchid stories or questions. I love hearing from you.